Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. Please subscribe to the channel, like, and share. It helps us out a bunch. This article today comes from WOR, and it reads, Venom The Last Dance targets week $55 million to $60 million opening weekend. This article is written by Jordan Rumi. So kind of interesting, before I get into this article, we had some news saying that it was tracking better than Venom 1 and Venom 2. Now we're getting news that this film's actually doing worse and the opening is going to be weak. I'm going to be talking about another article after this where we get some reviews on this film. And let me say, guys, they are not the best. But I want to read into this article, and then we'll move on to that next article afterwards. So let's read. For some inexplicable reason, the first two Venom movies distributed by Sony were very popular with audiences, despite middling reviews. The first one grossed $850 million worldwide, which is a success. The budget was about $110 million on that first film, while the second one earned around $560 million at the box office. This third chapter, titled Venom The Last Dance, yet again has Tom Hardy's Eddie/Venom on the run. It's set to hit theaters on Friday. Word is that Venom The Last Dance, which has a $120 million budget, is doing horribly in pre-sales, and that it might have a $55 million to $60 million opening weekend. This would easily make it the worst opening of the franchise. The only good news right now for Sony is that these numbers are much better than Joker Folie à Deux. No, seriously, Sony is no doubt wondering what's happening here. Earlier in the year, some had speculated that Venom The Last Dance could open as high as $140 million. That is definitely not happening. The guru expert over at Box Office Theory is even predicting a sub-$50 million opening weekend, which is grim stuff. Have movie audiences soured on Venom? This could also be yet another sign of the superhero fatigue, which, as I've reportedly stated, is real. Sure, you have the big names still bringing in the money, Batman, Superman, Avengers, Deadpool, but any other superhero now stands the chance of being completely brushed off by audiences. It's not just fatigue that's to blame for the poor numbers that might lay ahead for Venom 3. Sony is coming off the stretch of Morbius and Madam Web, and they've had the trailer for their upcoming Kraven the Hunter relentlessly mocked online. The Sony superhero brand is currently toxic, and maybe Venom is being connected to all of that baggage. The superhero movie peaked with 2008's The Dark Knight. There was also a nice stretch of films in the 2010s. I'm thinking Captain America, The Winter Soldier, and Avengers Endgame. But ever since Endgame, it has indeed been a struggle for Marvel, DC, and Sony to make a good movie. I don't think I've liked a single one of them. It's no stretch to believe that just by looking at the recent box office numbers, the movie zeitgeist has changed. Superhero movies have become less of a dominant force. The DCEU completely crumbled. Critics have been souring on them as well. The glowing reviews have turned into pans. What's changed is that people appear to have suddenly noticed that these movies are not that good. They regret surrendering many hours of the only life they'll ever live to the Marvels, the Eternals, Black Adam, the New Mutants, Blue Beetle, The Flash, Morbius, Madam Web, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Shazam, Fury of the Gods. It all makes you wonder if James Gunn's DCU will be a success, if the hundreds of millions that Disney/Marvel has spent on upcoming projects, such as Captain America, Brave New World, The Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four, will end up epically backfiring on them. And that is the end of that article, guys. What do you think about this news on Venom right now? Are you going to be going to see Venom? Have you seen the other two Venom films? What did you think about that? As far as some of the films listed here, I guess the only one I'll really stand up for is Black Adam. Black Adam's actually not a bad film. It just didn't do well in theaters. Kind of wondering why it didn't, but Black Adam's not a bad movie. But yeah, these other ones, can't vouch for. I saw Madam Web earlier this year. Wasn't that good of a film at all. Very tough film to get through. The dialogue was just extremely weak. I think Sony really banked a lot on Venom, to be honest, and I think that's why they pushed back Kraven the Hunter, because they didn't want to run into a situation where you had Madam Web, which got a lot of bad press and it was an epic fail, really carry that negativity into the release of Kraven, which I believe was supposed to come out in August. So what they did was they pushed Kraven back to December. I actually think that's going to hurt Kraven as far as audiences wanting to go see a film like that in December. Kraven's going to do whatever it's going to do. I never thought the film was going to be a success anyway, because it's a character that not many people know much about. And so your modern audience is not going to watch a film like that. If they don't know some of the big names as far as comic book characters go as far as now, and he talked about this in the article, the big names, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, those guys, Avengers got in there, you know what I mean? If those names don't show up on the screen, people are not going to be, getting up to get to the theater and watch those, not in droves at least. You might have some fans, some hardcore fans that go out and watch, but it's not going to be enough to make the film successful. So yes, Kraven got pushed back till December. they have Venom. They didn't move Venom at all. Venom was always coming out in October, but I think they were banking on Venom being a success to lead into Kraven the Hunter, and it looks like Venom's not going to be very good at all as far as what the box office is reporting right now. I have seen some reviews, and they're not looking good. You know, Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 30%. Rotten Tomatoes has never scored any of the Venom films very high, so I'm curious to see what that audience score is. I'm sure we'll be getting that data very soon. I know CBR gave Venom a 1 out of 10. Yes, that's a 1 stars out of 10. So, yeah, I mean, the reviews are not looking hot for this film. We'll just have to see how it performs over this opening weekend, and we'll definitely be speaking on it in the future. With that being said, comment down below. Like I said, what do you think about this? Are you going to see Venom 3, The Last Dance? Let me know down below. Subscribe to the channel, like, share with a friend, ring the bell for notifications, and always be safe. It's Neff signing off.